when I lost my brother, that was the end of life for me. I thought that it was the end of life for me. And I wanted to take off my life also. I thought that I can't go on without him. But on another hand, I wanted to leave and to fulfill my job. And my job is that one day the nation of the world should know what kind of a man my brother was and what kind of leadership they lost.
What don't we know? What has history so far, maybe because so much of it is so recent, what haven't we learned from history about your brother, the Shah?
I hope that you learn. It's only 18 months since he left the country. I hope that you learn with all these crimes, all these hanging, all these genocide, all these ruthless regime. You can understand that what you have lost. You have lost a friend. You have lost this stability of that area, and maybe you would go towards a world war.
But when you say ruthless, this is a word that has been connected with the Savak, the police that were under your brother. Ruthless murderers.
That was again something that was in the same measure that they put on my brother's image. Savak has not been anything more or less than CIA and KGB, not KGB, I hope not KGB, than CIA or any other intelligence service.
And what of all of the people that we have seen on television from Iran, people with whose bodies have been mutilated and who have said that they have gone through great torture and great pain at the hands of Savak?
Did you really believe the thing that you saw? Did you really believe?
Well, when you see this many people who have gone through this, you have to sit back and question.
Those are the same people that you saw in television. I was taking care of them in my own hospital. And some of them I recognize even in the television. There was not one of them have been from Savak, not one. And Mr. Rejai, when he put his foot on, he should be very happy that he ended like that, because if he was in the jail of Khomeini, he wouldn't be alive now.
So are there degrees of ruthlessness and torture that can be accepted?
I'm telling you, I deny everything they said about Savak. All these people that they show to you, they was in masquerade. They were people whom I took care of them, I personally. We had a plant which we were making the Red Cross, had this fabric to make these hands and these legs for these crippled people. And it's not very easy to find in the Middle Eastern country and in the third world country people like that. Even in America, even everywhere we can find, but there it's plenty of them around the country.
Let us go on to your brother and his advancement of women in the areas of human rights and women's rights. What were his feelings about women?
He felt like my father. They felt that if they wanted to go to the civilization and towards the civilization and had a high-level economic country, they cannot just put aside half of the country silent, because women being only in the kitchen and not been in the social life of the country, this country is doomed to be destroyed, because he's working only with half of his strength, and the half is inert and not capable to do anything. It would happen to you if, for example, all of a sudden they say that American women shouldn't work anymore. You will see that what would happen to your economy, what will happen to your social welfare and all these things. And
did he respect women?
He respects very much women.
I have a reason for asking that question.
I know, Maria.
Yes, Arianna Fallaci, in her interview with your brother, and she asked him about women and his feelings about women, and he says, let's not forget I'm the son of the man who took away women's veils in Iran, but I wouldn't be sincere if I stated I'd been influenced by a single one of them. Nobody can influence me, nobody, still less a woman. Women are important in a man's life only if they're beautiful and charming and keep their femininity. And this business of feminism, for instance, what do these feminists want? What do you want? You say equality. Oh, I don't want to seem rude, but you're equal in the eyes of the law, but not, excuse my saying so, in ability.
But I can say exactly the same thing, because women's, if you wanted to compare them in some fields, they can't be compared with men. For example, they can't be very good soldiers. They can't take a battlefield. They can't. And he was a soldier man. He was a military man. And I'm sure that in that interview, Maria Fallaci should have aggravated him by asking him too many questions, one after another one. And he aggravated him. He said, but
because in that same interview, he seems to be very, he comes off as being very proud of the fact that he was the one responsible for raising the price of oil. And he seems to boast about it. And are you saying that maybe because he was aggravated with her?
Maybe he was aggravated with her. But I know my brother, but how he treated his wives, for example. He was the most dignified man towards women. He was very, even like a chevalier, he puts women always
on a pedestal.
On a pedestal. And that interview, I remember I talked to him and I asked him, why did you tell things like that you don't believe yourself and you did everything for the women in your country? He said that the women aggravated me. That's it.
Was he proud? Did he boast of the fact that he was responsible for raising the price of oil?
He wasn't responsible. He did it purposely, because we were a very poor country before the rising of the oil. But well, if he wanted a progressing country, industrialized country, he should have money to buy all this machinery. And it was no relation between the price of oil at that time and the price that we were given to them to buy machinery or armament or things like that. And if you go through the history of the oil, you can see that my brother raised the price of the oil only twice, or if I remember, maybe 3 times. But now you can go and see the price of the oil, how much it is. My brother always thinks that oil is something, it is a very sophisticated material and shouldn't be used just like that. And it has in mind to replace oil by gas and by other powers, power energy,
yes,
and solar energy and all these things. And he wanted to keep oil for the much more sophisticated, like petrochemical plants and things like that. But if you remember, the man who stopped the rising of the oil just in 1978, it was also my brother. When President Carter came to Iran, he asked him not to rise anymore price of oil, and he freezed.
You say in your memoirs that you didn't trust President Carter then. You didn't believe him. Why?
It was just an intuition. I didn't believe in, I don't believe in blue eyes anyway.
I'm in trouble.
You have not blue eyes, you have green.
Yes.
And especially those blue eyes without any significance. And I don't know, it was an intuition, and I was right.
And even after all of the things that have come out since, understanding the position of this country, understanding the position of an administration who had 52, even 53 at that time, American hostages, realizing that if they allowed your brother to stay, those people might never come home. I know it's difficult because you're speaking of your brother, and you're speaking of 53 people at that time that you did not know, that you don't know. But can you see how an administration is trying to get those Americans home?
In the first hand, it shouldn't happen. At the first hand, America was much more strong to be able to release the hostages. I don't know how, but which way, but they could. But what I'm concerned, it was the behavior of American administration towards my brother throughout his exile. When even there was no question of hostages, and when he was a monarch, and he was Khomeini was not in Iran yet, he wanted to come to America, he has been refused. When he was in Morocco, he wanted to come to America, he has been refused.
But he had been to America.
When he was dying.
He had been to America in November of 1977
yes.
also.
Yes, but he was dying also. And if I was really a simple woman, American woman, and I had right, I will accuse death of my brother. Because it was a premature death, and he could very well live 2, 3 more, 4 more years. Maybe for Carter administration is not very much 4 years, but for us and for me especially, it's too much.
So, in your heart, you feel that the Carter administration is responsible for the death of your brother?
In my heart, I feel very strongly that they could prevent the premature death of my brother.
And you're not basing it just on the fact that they had to try to get those hostages back here. You're basing it on things that happened before then.
I'm not questioning. For me now, it's not a question of hostages. Mm-hmm. It's the question of my brother.
I understand.
This question of hostages is the administration should take care. I'm talking about my brother and his premature death because of lack of medical treatment that America did not realize for my brother. Yes. And every time he go through an operation, he was 3 months behind. And the man could live 4 more years.
You feel that he would have had earlier medical attention?
Naturally. He had been operated 3 times, and 3 times he had been behind for 3 months.
This anger that you have within you, for anyone who has lost someone close and dear to them, it is an understandable anger. How do you deal with this anger? What do you do?
Anger, I'm not. Lonely and empty I am. Even if I am angry and revolted, what can I do? Show me, what can I do?
I'm sure it has crossed the minds of some people that if she is upset with the American administration, as you have referred to it, then why is she living in America?
Because America doesn't belong to the administration. America has 2,060,000 million people. And if it wasn't for the American people, I wouldn't be here.
Because you don't connect the American people
No.
with the American administration.
No. The administration are for 4 years and they are going and coming and coming. They're coming and going. But the people of America, they are staying here. And they will know someday.
Princess, I would like to thank you very much for being with us this evening and for sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you.
Thank you. The interview that you just saw with Princess اشرف was taped earlier this week in New York. When we arrived at the apartment, we were greeted by bodyguards. I can't tell you exactly how many of them there were there, but there were at least 5 or 6 or 7 that I saw anyway. Our senior producer noticed also that there was a small room off the entryway, and it was filled with shotguns. And in talking to some of the bodyguards, he was able to find out from them that they really feel the danger, the ever-present danger of an assassination attempt on the princess's life. They said they are dealing with terrorists, they are dealing with people who really know their business, and consequently, they feel they really must protect her and be on their guard at all times. Now, catching up with the news, on today, Friday, October 31st, the Iranian Crown Prince Reza, the late Shah's eldest son, living in exile in Egypt, proclaimed today that he was the new Shah of Iran, fulfilling his father's deathbed wish that he, the son, return to Iran.